Folks, election for the next president of the Teamsters is next year, and it states as a pivotal moment for the labor organization. More than 1.3 million members of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, one of the nation's most powerful unions, will choose between the current president, Sean O'Brien, who has gotten extremely close to MAGA and Donald Trump, and challenger Richard Hooker Jr., a Philadelphia Teamster who demands a union that truly serves working people. Richard joins us now from Chicago, where he's campaigning. Richard, glad to have you here. When did you make the decision that you wanted to be the next president? Was there something specific that caused you to say, you know what, it's time for me to challenge Sean O'Brien?
Well, we made the decision this summer because of all the things that have been happening within the Teamsters. His flirtation with the anti-labor, anti-working class administration and Donald Trump, along with a lot of our largest contract with UPS and some of the things that happened there. And we have to make a decision on where do we want this organization to go. And we believe now is the time because our members are not happy. Our rank and file members are not happy with the direction that the Teamsters are going in. And why not us? Why not now?
You talk about that, and the reality is that we saw Sean O'Brien speak at the Republican National Convention. He did not speak at the Democratic National Convention. He was not happy about that. And he also openly chastised Vice President Kamala Harris. He went on the podcast talking about how she walked in and she was insulting and how she expected their endorsement, even though she was the one who cast the critical vote to restore the pension, to pay out the pensions. 600,000 Teamsters. This was the most pro-union administration since FDR, and you had other labor unions that were supporting this administration, and he acted like they hadn't done a damn thing for Teamsters and labor.
I know, and it's still shocking to all of us because it's one thing to support someone who you feel as though just a rubber stamp. But the other option has a resume that does not include helping working people at all. You're talking about his first term, rolling back labor protections. Then he gets back in there and look what he does to the NLRB. Look what he's done to the TSA workers. Look what he's doing right now to the federal workers. So to have a relationship with a person like that and to have an idea that you believe that this administration is going to help us, I still can't believe it. A lot of us can't believe it. And again, this is why things have to change within our organization. We can't continue down this road.
After they made the decision not to endorse her, and of course, the last time, if I'm correct, the Teamsters did not endorse, they didn't endorse Hillary Clinton. And so a lot of people are like, yo, what's up? Teamsters can't endorse women. Not only that, not a single Republican supported the American Rescue Plan that included that $36 billion bailout of Teamsters and other pensions. Not only that, the Teamsters, they're endorsing Vivek Ramaswamy for governor of Ohio when Ramaswamy and Elon Musk and Donald Trump were all joking about, guys, go to my iPad, come on. They were all joking about how, hey, if folks strike, you should be crossing the line. I mean, that right there, but you're like, what the hell is going on?
I'm with you. And why do we put ourselves in a position where we want to trust a person like this? Like you said, to your point, Brother Roland, Elon Musk and Donald Trump were on a live line talking about, we like what you do with workers when they go on strike. You fire them. And this is who we align ourselves with. This cannot be the direction of the Teamsters. We're better than that. We're bigger than that. And this election is going to prove that members are not happy with the direction of the Teamsters.
What is your plan of action? What do you want to get done if you are president of the Teamsters Union?
So we're going to have to make sure that our members have open transparency, open bargaining, so they'll know everything that's going on in their contracts. With the threat of AI and automation, we're going to have to make sure that our local unions have resources to continue to fight for their members, because automation is going to take jobs, not just from our bargaining unit members, but also members within the working class. So how can we organize workers if they're not working? So we got to make sure that we help our locals out through making sure they keep some of their resources, not sending them to the IBT. And also we got to get rid of the retaliation and retribution that goes on in our international and our locals, because quiet as it's kept, the international union and this Trump administration are mirrors of each other. They want blind loyalty. If you don't give it to them, they'll come after you with guns blazing. And so that's why the Teamsters need to move in a more progressive, a more transparent, and a more honest direction. And that's what we're going to deliver for our members.
I talked about what Sean O'Brien said about Vice President Kamala Harris, and they did not endorse her. And he describes that. He goes on the podcast of white nationalist Tucker Carlson and talks about her. I guess he forgot when that vote came up, she was the tie-breaking vote that saved the pensions of some 600,000 Teamsters. This is what he actually said.
One of my vice presidents, a woman named Joan Corey out of my local, she sits on our general executive board, was at an event with Vice President Harris. And, you know, they're going through the line to get the picture, and Joan introduces herself to Vice President Harris, says, "I'm Joan Corey. I'm on the general executive board for the Teamsters." She goes, "Teamsters? You better get on board. You better get on board. Better get on board soon." So fast forward, she finally agrees to come after we were putting pressure on her, you know, basically, because I was doing interviews all over the place saying, "We haven't got invited to the DNC. You know, they haven't accepted our invitation for her to come to a roundtable." So she comes to the roundtable. Same format, same questions. Rank and file members are asking her questions just like they asked every other candidate. And they were trying to negotiate with us. She only wants to answer 3 questions. We're like, there's 16 questions here. So she answers 3 of them. And on the 4th question, one of her operatives or one of her staff slips a note in front of me. "This will be the last question." And it was 20 minutes earlier than the time that it was going to end. And her declaration on the way out was, "I'm going to win with you or without you."
Richard, Vice President Harris writes in her book, she knew walking into that room that, frankly, was a setup and she wasn't going to get the endorsement. And so she talked about that. But again, this is what amazes me. The Teamsters has 1.3 million members. She was the one who cast the ballot, the vote, the tie-breaking vote that saved the pensions of half of the union. I'm sorry, if I save your ass with your pensions and not a single Republican voted for it, and you're Sean O'Brien and you're going to the Republican National Convention speaking and kissing MAGA ass, you damn right I expect the endorsement. Like, really?
Brother Roland, again, one thing that you may not know, the Teamsters have a issue with misogyny and race. Like you said, you know, a person cast the deciding vote to save your pension, and his pension got a whole lot of money, brother. I don't know if you know that, but his pension in New England got a whole lot of money. And so you would think that he would be the most appreciative and say, you know what, you know, let's go ahead on and support her. But again, when misogyny and race is more important than your pension, this is the outcome and this is the problem. And this is why we decided to run, because the Teamsters are not in a place where we're going in the right direction. Haven't been for a long, long time.
Questions from my panel. Greg, you first.
Thank you. And Brother Hooker, I mean, listen, man, I appreciate you. And you kind of answered the question I was going to ask when you mentioned race and misogyny in the Teamsters. I'm wondering how the rank and file, the membership, the folks you're trying to now pull together to support you and support your slate, what have been some of the fractures between the rank and file and this clearly racist leadership? I'm sure there's enough energy and there's enough support to get you in the office, but how do you plan on kind of reaching to folks through the rank and file?
So one of the things that we've been doing since this summer is going across the country, talking to all the rank and file members that we can, and tell them that there's a better option, there's a better way, and not just through talking, but also listening to their issues. And our platform speaks directly to those issues. What has plagued the Teamsters for many years is this transparency issue and things being done behind closed doors. So I've been a Teamster for 26 years, and I've worked for 20 of those years at UPS. For the last 6, I've been an elected official in my local. And so when we talk to our members, we know where they're coming from because we have that relationship, because we've done the job that they're doing. And when we listen to their issues, we have experienced what they're going through. And so programs like this, talking to the members face to face and listening to them, as well as there was an article in The Guardian that did a piece on myself and the current general president. And it shed a light into the issues that plague our organization. The race issue, $2.9 million racial discrimination lawsuit, the retaliation issue with O'Brien has a long history of doing those kinds of things. And then you're talking about his flirtation with Donald Trump. All these things intertwine with who he is and how he's leading this organization. And when we tell people our plan and how we plan on changing things, it resonates with our rank and file members, because that's how we're going to win this election, through the rank and file. The officers, they're going to be hit or miss. A lot of them are on a payroll. A lot of them are scared because of retaliation from the general president. And so, again, like you said, Brother Carr, we're going to have to make sure our message is about building power within the rank and file. And they see that with our platform.
Racy?
Appreciate it.
Thank you for being with us. I'm a numbers girl, so I'm curious, mathematically, what does your path to victory look like? And what does that coalition look like?
Right. So if you look at the last election that the current general president won, we have 1.3 million Teamsters. Less than 200,000 members voted. Less than 200,000. So if we could get right now 400 people in every local to vote, we win this election. It's not going to be as difficult as people think, because it's about 400 or some odd locals. So you're talking about 160,000 people that vote and turn out for us. We win. But again, we're going to have to make sure that we stay in front of our members, tell them our platform, reassure them that we're just not talking, because again, we have receipts to show who we are and what we've been doing. In 2019, I was the first African American to be elected in my local in 623 in Philadelphia. Last month, we made history again by becoming the first administration not to have anybody run against us, because we transformed our local. And that's the plan and the vision that we're going to do with the international. We plan on transforming the international. And we have receipts to show, because, again, we've done it before.
Noah?
Thank you so much, Mr. Hooker, for this work. I've been in the union, I think, since I was 10 years old. So I definitely, I'm very pro-union. So what you're describing sounds like a culture situation. So much of this has sounded like easily could have been a scene in Irishman or very Hoffa-esque, when you talk about the culture of loyalty, not being transparent. And you also mentioned the positive things you've been able to do in your local. So how do you gauge that people are ready for change? Do you poll your members, or how are you gauging that people are ready for a culture shift? Because culture shifts in institutions like Teamsters, that's a heavy lift.
Excuse me, it is. We gauge our members by the conversations that we have and by us listening to their concerns. Everywhere we've been so far, every member has the same concern. We want to know what's going on in our union. We don't like how we're being treated by an employer, because I have a thing that I say: you can't stop the employer from dominating you and disrespecting you and retaliating against you if you don't first get rid of it in your own organization. And that's the thing that we're going to have to do in order to start winning against these employers. And our members are ready for that. Again, our largest contract is UPS, and a lot of people focus on UPS, but we also have another 1 million members who don't get that, don't get that support that they need. Our pipeline members, if I told you guys some stories about them, you're talking about a group of workers who have to pay double the dues, but don't get the representation. How is that even possible, right? And then you talk about other workers, the sanitation workers and the airline workers. Look what's going on now with the airlines, So once you start listening to people and their needs, and you develop a plan, and they know where you're coming from, and you're open and you're honest, and you're talking about building power from the bottom up, not the top down, that resonates with workers. Because look what's going on in the working class right now. We are under a serious attack. And the only way that we get through this is by working together. But people need to feel that you have their best interests at heart. And they feel that when we talk to them.
All right, then. Well, Richard Hooker, when is the election?
Next November, a year from now.
All right. Well, you're going to be real busy over the next year. Keep us abreast of how this thing is going.
Yes, sir. Thank you again for having me.
I appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. All right.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.